Hi everyone. I'm really sorry that I have to do this via video because I'm still sick and I still can't be in at work at the moment because one, I don't want to get you guys sick and I don't want to get the other teachers sick either. So, yeah, sorry that I've been away this week. I am looking forward to coming back next week, and it's going to be a good week too because we're going to work on things like globalization and trade, and it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm really looking forward to getting into it with you. It should be great fun. Before just get into what I need to say, I just want to thank the students who have been participating in the discussions on Canvas. I am taking note of the students who are doing it, and it's really cool to see. Thank you to you who have done it. You're showing a great level of understanding, and I really appreciate seeing terminology like tangible and intangible. It's just showing that you guys are learning from the lessons that we've had, and that's good for me to see, and it's also good for you guys because we can build on that learning, I guess. Um, this lesson, because I'm still not there, I wanted to cover infographics with you. Now, infographics are basically ways of representing data or information visually. Okay, it's like a school project poster that you would have done in primary school or a couple of years ago in high school as well. Basically, it's just information on a visual level. Um, Now, you've probably seen a lot of these without even realizing it. A lot of government pamphlets and things like that kind of use them every now and then as well. And I'll show you some examples in a moment. But the reason I want to go over this is because you actually need to make one for your assignment. So that's obviously why this lesson's important. So I hope that you guys actually utilize this, learn from it, so you can actually do it yourself later on. Anyway, so hopefully right now I'm showing you some examples if my editing skills are up to scratch. Basically, the one I wanted to show you first is a infographic on making infographics. So it's pretty meta, I suppose you could say. Basically, it has things like it uses graphics and visuals. So, you want to use lots of pictures. Graphics just another word for picture. You want to use visual things because 90%, and it says this as well, 90% of the information being absorbed by the reader of your infographic is visual. Okay, so you still have words, you still have information written on the infographic, but a lot of it is going to be like a picture that relates to it in some way. It's going to be short and sweet, so it's going to be concise. You're basically getting a large amount of information and you're trying to build it into small points, the important parts of that information, so that the reader can get what's important from what you need to say and they can get it quickly. And it's focused on the goal, so when we do it on your topic that you're doing for your assignment, it's going to stay related to that assignment and not go on tangents like I go on tangents even on a webcam. Here's another example here. Here's one on bullying. So as we can see, it's very visual. There's lots of pictures. There's not that much writing on it. Okay. And it's very short and sweet because of that. It's very focused on bullying. Everything on that is related to bullying. And it's got things like the pictures are really related too. So it's things like bullying. It's got examples of what bullying might look like. So it's got hitting. And for that picture, they've got band-aids there that represent someone that might have to put a band-aid on after they've been punched or hit or something like that. Threatening, they've got a knife because you'd be threatened with a knife. They got some jerk putting his tongue out with a mohawk, teasing and taunting. Stealing, so like they've got some school bags and stuff that you might steal. And then they got one that kind of sticks out here is they got the sex symbols for making sexual remarks. So that's a pretty good example of using images to try and represent certain things that you want people to know about. So obviously the person here wanted to let their audience know what counts as bullying. And they got some great examples there. Short and sweet. They could have gone into more detail, but they chose not to. So that's a pretty good example. So basically in this lesson, guys, we're going to start by watching a YouTube video that I've got prepared for you guys on different types of infographics. And what I want you guys to be thinking about during that video is which kind would work best for my question. Because all of this today is going to relate to your assignment in some way. So consider that throughout the entire thing. Then after that, basically, I want you guys to find an infographic on anything that you like and analyze it. And I've got some questions and stuff that I want you guys to answer about infographics as well. Then I want you to create an infographic on a sport, a movie, a book, or a TV show that you guys like. Nice and simple. Get a bit creative with it. Draw it up. Make it visual. Use all these things and these examples that we've just talked about. Um, and yeah, that's about it for this lesson. Any extra time that's left over, you can use on your assignment. If you're curious, you can email me. Say if you're not sure if your question's going to cut it, email it to me. Okay, we can talk about it via email, or I'll be back in next week and we can talk about it then as well. But we should be moving on to the next section of our assignment now, which would be, let me just find that. Create the question. We've done. So basically, we're up to the research stage now. So hopefully, you guys have come up with a question that you can ask about interconnection that relates to something else. So say you're doing interconnections and terrorism. Your question might be, how does ISIS recruit Australians into its ranks? Or how are their terrorist attacks overseas? Okay, now we're actually doing that research. Well, how do they recruit them? Or how do we get these terrorist attacks overseas? Okay, or it could be a bit more light-hearted, like how does a singer like Ed Sheeran become a big star in Australia when he's not even from here and he was never here until he was a star? Or why do people think that Canberra is really safe? Why does someone's perception of Canberra give them this idea that it's really safe here? People still die here. You might look at statistics and things and compare it to other places. Okay, so use this time in class, guys. I'm again really sorry that I'm not there. Feel free to email me your questions if you have any questions or anything like that, and I will be seeing you next week so we can talk about globalization. Yeah, thanks.